What's up gamers? Today we're going to talk about something important not only to playing Beebo, but to being a better Supervive player. What I'm going to discuss in this video will help you better understand the strengths and weaknesses of Beebo, what you should be doing with that information, and what role Beebo fulfills in a game of Supervive. This video is going to be on the more in-depth side of things, but not the most in-depth. So if you'd rather watch me bonk some jabronies, check out the playlist down below. Without further ado, let's get into the pros and cons of Beebo. As I mentioned in my first guide, Beebo is not very strong in the early game. Specifically, he's not very effective in fights. Levels 1 through 3, his high mana costs, limited mana pool, long cooldowns, low damage, and melee primary attack make it really hard to fight early unless the other team missteps. Whereas a hunter like Shrike, for example, has every tool she needs to wipe out a team in 6 shots at level 1. So generally speaking, avoid fights in the early game while playing Beebo. There is, however, an advantage that Beebo has over most hunters, and that is, he is the tempo king. Now, tempo is a subject I could take a deep dive into because it's such a large part of Supervive, but for the sake of keeping this video brief, I'm just going to touch on it. You know how there's a level cap on day 1 for level 6, and how each hunter needs a certain amount of gold to buy their items, and how there's 2 different shops to buy those items at? Right, so the first team to successfully clear enough camps to reach the level cap and visit both regular and relic shops for purchasing their items has the best tempo in the lobby. They can then use this tempo, aka the time they've bought themselves through efficiency, to then find another team who is still trying to catch up. The first team now has an advantage on the second team and can force a fight knowing they have that advantage. This is a bread and butter concept for MOBAs, and it is especially important in Supervive. Now, how does Beebo fit into all of this? Well, first off, everything Beebo does can stagger camps, which if you don't know is when a camp gets low enough and has a purple ring around it, so you can land a hit that deals bonus damage. Beebo's left mouse button staggers, his right mouse button staggers, his bomb staggers, his shift staggers, if you hit him with your bat afterwards, and his ult staggers if you want to clear camps with your ult. In short, Beebo is good at clearing camps, which isn't the most exciting thing, but it is an important part of Supervive. The second way Beebo can gather tempo for his team is by using the bomb to multitask. This is one of the most important parts of playing Beebo. Your bomb counts as a living entity, which means it can capture base camps, resurrect allies at a res beacon, or resurrect wisps if you place your bomb on them. This can help keep you out of harm's way when you're the last one alive, safely use res beacons that are in the storm, or simply capture a base camp while clearing mob camps nearby. It may not seem like much, but think about it this way. Base camps take 10 seconds to capture, and depending on the res beacon, it takes 5 or 10 seconds to revive your allies. If you do this, say, 6 times in a game, you'll have earned yourself up to an extra minute of play that you would have had to spend standing still. That's a minute you could spend gathering resources, scouting other teams, and finding picks, aka gaining and using tempo. Okay, tempo is cool and all, but what is the role Beebo is supposed to accomplish in fights? Well, Beebo can heal, but he's not as good as any designated healers. He can do a lot of damage, but not as much as Shiv or Krista. He can also frontline, but not as effectively as Oath or Kingpin. So the answer to that question ultimately depends on the pilot, because as a jack-of-all-trades hunter, you're going to have more options than you know what to do with. It's about deeming which of those options is best for your given scenario. Beebo is not as good as most hunters that are at the top of their class, but he can do what they do, and that versatility is valuable. You can act as team comp glue, if you will, and support when you need to support, or damage when you're free to do so. All of these are categories where Beebo is not as good as other hunters, but there are a few areas where Beebo excels. First off, I honestly think he's probably the best engager in the game. Landing big bombs and flanking with ult can instantly win a fight, and there's not many characters who can consistently stay on par with Beebo's engage. He's got Bishop ult, except it automatically combos with your bomb, can stun multiple enemies, and takes your allies with you, if they want to come with. It's kind of rare. The potential here is sky high, and it never gets old. Secondly, Beebo is really good at peeling for teammates. Especially into melee characters, Beebo can knock enemies back very easily and help his teammates escape bad situations. Most characters have to expend long cooldowns for something like this, or have to outsource for relics like Air Blaster in order to peel themselves. Beebo just has to hold down left click. It's nice. Tertiary, Beebo is a survival specialist. He is very good at getting out of bad situations with his low cooldown dash that grants movement speed, combined with his ultimate to cover long distances. He is also very good at reviving the team through res beacons as stated before, or through playing with a crown and getting that one dire kill to revive the team. If you are the last alive, assess your situation to see if there's any way to get the team back on their feet. It will make the difference in catching more dubs. Lastly, because there's so many different things you can do as Beebo, there's also a ton of different ways to build him. You can complement each and every aspect of Beebo's kit with different items and play towards your favorite abilities or playstyle on him. With that being said, I will be releasing a build guide down the line, so you can expect to see that in the near future. I also want to say I really appreciate when you guys share your ideas about Beebo builds in the comments or on my stream, because the armory is new for all of us and there's just so many options, it's ridiculous. Anyways, that's all I have for you today. Consider subscribing to support the channel, stay frosty, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!